Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and selamat sejahtera. Welcome back to another online lecture session. This is lecture number 6, titled Genetic Inheritance 4.2, Deviation from the Mendelian Inheritance. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to explain briefly types of inheritance that deviate from Mendelian: codominant allele, incomplete dominant alleles, multiple allele, linked gene, sex-linked gene, and polygenes. Let's continue from where we left at the end of the previous lecture. Linked genes are one of the deviations from Mendelian inheritance. It occurs when two or more genes that determine different characteristics located on the same chromosome. It is always represented by either using oblique symbols or two parallel straight lines as shown in this slide. There are two possibilities when it comes to linked gene. If the alleles are both located on an autosome, it is normally known as linked gene, whereas if both alleles located at either one of the sex chromosome, it will be known as a sex-linked gene. This is an example of how body colors and wing size are inherited in a species of fruit fly known as Drosophila species. As all of you learn in meiosis, crossing over occurs between two homologous pair of chromosome in prophase 1. This will have an effect in case of a linked gene. This will produce a slightly different gamete than a parental gamete, which is known as recombinant gametes. Sex-linked gene occurs when the gene in question is on either sex chromosome. Human sex is determined based on XY system. Female human sex chromosome consists of XX combination, are also known as homogamete, while male human consists of XY combination, or also known as heterogamete. Sex-linked recessive inheritance is a condition occurred when the gene is specifically located on X chromosome. This will cause phenotype to be expressed in hemizygous male and homozygous female. The term hemizygous here refers to the fact that X and Y chromosome are in fact not homologous chromosome. Therefore, male usually suffer the effect of sex-linked recessive disorder since they only have one X chromosome, while female has another X chromosome, and that chromosome may contain a dominant allele that may reduce the effect of recessive allele. One example of sex-linked recessive disorder is blood clotting disorder, hemophilia. Recessive allele that may cause hemophilia is denominated as lowercase h, while a normal allele is as capital letter H. Either one of these alleles may be located on the X chromosome only. Inability of blood to clot is due to lack of blood clotting factor. This may cause longer time taken for blood to clot, therefore losing more blood due to prolonged bleeding. Spontaneous bleeding may also occur due to any light injury. The final deviation from Mendelian inheritance is polygene, when traits or characteristics are controlled by many genes. All of the traits considered as polygene are usually quantitative, or in another word, are measurable using proper instruments. A common example of this is human skin color. Here we can see the cumulative effect on skin color. Note that the degree of darkness changes with the presence of dominant allele for each gene. The next subtopic that we will discuss is genetic mapping. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to define genetic mapping, identify the position or order of gene along chromosome based on recombination data. Genetic mapping is defined as a method for determining the loci or location and arrangement of gene on a chromosome. It goes without saying that all genes mentioned here are linked genes. The distance between any two loci of a gene are known as percentage of crossing over value, or COV, and also known as recombination frequencies. The percentage symbols may also be replaced with map unit as a measure of distance. This is an example of genetic mapping of 3 fruit fly genes: body color, eye color, and wing size. The recombination frequency between the genes are shown here. Eye color and body color is 9%, eye color and wing size is 9.5%, and body color and wing size is 18.5%. By using this value, the possible arrangement of these 3 genes places eye color between the other 2. Crossing over value are the frequency of crossing over that is proportional to the distance between genes on the chromosome. Genes that are located closely to each other on the same chromosome tend to be inherited together. Therefore, they rarely recombine. But it is a different story for genes that are far from each other. They have higher chances of crossing over to occur between them, hence producing new recombination of genes. Okay, let's try to map these genes on this particular chromosome. Always start mapping with genes that has the highest percentage of COV. In this case here, the genes between R and Q have a value of 40%. First, draw a straight line and label each end as R and Q. Next, we map using the second highest COV percentage. This will determine the location of gene P that is away from gene Q. We will continue using the same step using the third highest COV value. This will determine the location of gene S that is away from R. Since all genes have been mapped its location on the chromosome, therefore, in this step, we will only have to label its distance from other genes by using the fourth highest COV value as a reference. The last COV value acts as the confirmation that all genes are mapped correctly. We may verify this by simply subtracting the distance between R and Q with the distance between P and Q. The answers will be the relative distance between R and P. Therefore, the correct order of gene P, Q, R, and S is R, P, S, and Q. Please take note that the reverse order may also be accepted as the correct order. Before we end our lecture for today, let's start answering a few of these simple questions. Question number 1. There are many variations in skin color that can be inherited based on the combination of alleles that you inherited from your mom and dad. This is an example of A. Incomplete dominance, B. Co-dominance, C. Multiple allele, and D. Polygenic inheritance. Second question. Hemophilia is a recessive X-linked disorder. Which genotype represents a female who is a carrier for hemophilia? If you have any question, you may refer to the book listed on the reference here, or you may see your lecturer personally. That is all from me for today. I will see you in the next lecture. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.